The first indication that humanity was not alone came not from the stars, but from the whispers that spread like wildfire across the internet. At first, the rumors were dismissed as conspiracy theories, reports of strange lights in the sky, mysterious disappearances, and odd symbols etched into fields. But as the evidence mounted, even the most skeptical began to take notice. The invaders arrived without fanfare, descending upon Earth with precision and purpose. They were the Zellerith, a highly advanced race that prided themselves on their strategic dominance. Unlike the chaotic nature of humanity, the Zellerith were a species of meticulous planners. They had studied Earth from afar, analyzing its technology, resources, and military capabilities. In their calculations, humanity posed no significant threat. The invasion was swift and devastating. Major cities fell within days, their defenses overwhelmed by the Zellerith's superior weaponry. Communications were disrupted, governments crumbled, and chaos reigned. The Zellerith's goal was clear: to strip Earth of its resources and enslave its population. Yet, amidst the destruction, something peculiar began to happen. Stories spread among the survivors, tales of resistance fighters sabotaging alien ships, of strange weaknesses in the invaders' armor, and of entire squads retreating from what appeared to be harmless objects. The rumors seemed absurd at first, but they were impossible to ignore. The Zellerith, for all their technological prowess, had underestimated humanity in one crucial way. They had overlooked the power of gossip. It began in a small town in rural Montana, where a group of survivors discovered an abandoned Zellerith scout drone. The drone, damaged but functional, emitted a series of sounds that resembled human laughter. A teenager recorded the phenomenon and uploaded it to the only remaining social media platform still operational after the invasion. Within hours, the video had gone viral. People began to speculate wildly about the significance of the drone's laughter. Some claimed it was a sign of the Zellerith's weakness, while others argued it was evidence that the aliens could be reasoned with. Theories multiplied, each more outlandish than the last, until a narrative emerged. The Zellerith were vulnerable to human emotions. The rumor spread with astonishing speed, carried by the fragments of the internet that remained intact. Resistance fighters began experimenting with tactics designed to exploit this supposed vulnerability. They staged elaborate pranks, created absurdly humorous videos, and even broadcast recordings of laughter and mockery over captured alien communication channels. To everyone's surprise, the tactics seemed to work. Zellerith forces, previously unshakable, began to falter. Their patrols hesitated, their responses slowed, and their formations broke down under the barrage of what could only be described as psychological warfare. Commander Thalkir, the leader of the Zellerith invasion fleet, was baffled. His meticulous plans had accounted for every conceivable variable, every weapon, strategy, and resource Earth could muster. Yet his forces were being undone by what his analysts dismissed as trivial, the nonsensical ramblings of an inferior species. Thalkir convened an emergency council aboard the flagship Invaders. "Explain this anomaly," he demanded, his voice a blend of frustration and disbelief. "How is it that these humans, with their primitive technology and fractured society, are causing such disruption?" The counselors, each a master of strategy and analysis, offered little in the way of answers. "It is their social networking," one finally suggested. "A primitive form of communication, yet it seems to amplify their influence. They spread information rapidly, and their narratives, however illogical, seem to inspire coordinated action." Thalkir scoffed. "Narratives? Stories? These are weapons of the weak. They cannot possibly rival our technology." But the evidence was undeniable. The Zellerith were losing ground. Entire squads were abandoning their posts, convinced that the humans possessed mysterious powers capable of bending reality itself. The invaders' once unstoppable momentum had ground to a halt. Among the humans, the rumors evolved into a kind of resistance folklore. Stories of unlikely victories spread like wildfire, inspiring hope among the downtrodden. A farmer in Iowa claimed to have driven off an alien patrol with nothing but a recording of his daughter's school play. A group of teenagers in Tokyo reportedly hacked a Zellerith drone and programmed it to project cat videos onto the walls of a captured building, causing the invaders to retreat in confusion. Each tale, however improbable, added fuel to the growing legend of humanity's resilience. The truth mattered less than the belief it inspired, and belief, as the Zellerith were discovering, was a weapon far more potent than they had anticipated. Thalkir, desperate to regain control, ordered his analysts to study the phenomenon. What they uncovered shook the very foundation of Zellerith strategy. Humans, it seemed, possessed a unique psychological trait. Their ability to create and amplify shared narratives gave them an unparalleled capacity for adaptive resistance. The Zellerith had no equivalent. Their society society, built on rigid hierarchies and absolute logic, was ill-equipped to counter a foe whose greatest strength lay in its unpredictability. As the tide turned, the resistance grew bolder. They infiltrated Zellerith communication networks, spreading disinformation and sowing confusion. One particularly audacious campaign involved broadcasting a fake Zellerith surrender order, complete with fabricated official documentation. The ruse caused chaos among the invaders, further eroding their cohesion. Within months, the once mighty Zellerith invasion had devolved into disarray. Thalkai-Ir, facing defeat, issued a final order: retreat. The fleet departed Earth's orbit, its ships battered and its pride wounded. For the first time in their history, the Zellerith had been outmaneuvered, not by superior technology, but by the unyielding spirit of a species that refused to be conquered. In the aftermath, humanity began the arduous process of rebuilding. The scars of the invasion were deep, but so too was the sense of unity that had emerged from the chaos. People shared their stories of survival and resistance, celebrating the creativity and humor that had turned the tide. As for the Zellerith, their defeat became the subject of intense study and debate. Thalkai-Ir, now a disgraced figure among his kind, reflected on the lessons of Earth. "We underestimated them," he admitted to his successors. "Their strength lies not in their technology, but in their stories. They are a species of storytellers, and it is their stories that defeated us." And so, humanity's legend grew, a tale of resilience and ingenuity, of a world brought to the brink and finding its way back through the power of belief. The Zellerith, for all their advanced intellect, had learned a humbling truth: the greatest weapon of all is not a machine or a strategy, but the indomitable spirit of those who refuse to give up. The Zellerith retreat did not mark the end of their involvement with Earth. Among their kind, the failure of the invasion was a source of endless debate. How could such an advanced civilization be undone by what seemed like frivolity? Scholars, scientists, and military strategists pored over the records, dissecting every moment of the campaign. In their analyses, one conclusion became clear: humanity's power lay in its capacity for connection. Unlike the Zellerith, whose rigid hierarchy and logical structures left little room for improvisation, humans thrived on chaos. They found strength in their networks, both digital and interpersonal, and used their ability to share stories to turn weakness into strength. But the Zellerith were not a species to accept defeat without adaptation. Thalkai-Ir, now an advisor rather than a commander, proposed a radical experiment. "If we are to understand them," he argued, "we must immerse ourselves in their ways. Let us observe their storytelling not as outsiders, but as participants." The Zellerith High Council reluctantly approved the plan. A small delegation was sent to Earth, disguised as human researchers. Their mission was to study humanity's narratives from within, to understand the culture that had defied them. The delegation arrived in secret, blending into the patchwork of Earth's rebuilding societies. What they found astonished them. Humanity, despite the devastation of the invasion, was thriving. Stories of resistance had become folklore, passed down from survivors to the next generation. Communities gathered around fires and screens alike to share tales of bravery and absurdity, of victories large and small. Humor, it seemed, was a cornerstone of resilience. One Zellerith researcher, assuming the name Dr. Laron to blend in, found himself particularly drawn to the human phenomenon of stand-up comedy. In the dimly lit backrooms of clubs and cafes, he watched as comedians turned the darkest moments of the invasion into punchlines. The laughter that filled these spaces was not just an escape, it was a reclamation of power. Dr. Laron began documenting these performances, noting how humor transformed fear into defiance. "They laugh in the face of despair," he wrote in his reports. "It is both a coping mechanism and a weapon. Through their stories, they rewrite the narrative of their own suffering, turning it into strength." Meanwhile, the humans continued their rebuilding efforts, unaware of their alien observers. The Cosmic Chronicle, a grassroots movement dedicated to preserving the stories of the invasion, emerged as a unifying force. Members of the Chronicle traveled across the globe, recording oral histories and archiving the memes, videos, and artwork that had defined the resistance. One such story involved a farmer in Argentina who claimed to have defeated a Zellerith patrol using only a rooster. According to the tale, the invaders, unnerved by the bird's piercing cries and erratic movements, retreated in confusion. The story, though unverifiable, became a symbol of humanity's unorthodox ingenuity. The Zellerith delegation, observing these developments, began to understand the depth of their miscalculation. They had viewed Earth as a resource to be exploited, its inhabitants as obstacles to be overcome. But humanity was more than the sum of its parts. It was a tapestry of interconnected lives, each thread strengthened by the others. Thalkai-Ir, following following the delegation's progress from afar, found himself reflecting on the lessons of the past. "We sought to conquer their world," he mused, "but they conquered our understanding. Perhaps the greatest strength is not found in what one can take, but in what one can share." As the years passed, a tentative relationship began to form between humanity and the Zellerith. Though the delegation's presence remained secret, their findings were shared with the High Council. Gradually, the Zellerith began to adopt elements of human culture, incorporating storytelling and humor into their own society. For humanity, the legacy of the invasion was one of unity and renewal. The Cosmic Chronicles archives became a cornerstone of education, teaching future generations about the power of connection and creativity. Festivals celebrating the victory of laughter were held annually, featuring reenactments of the most legendary moments from the Resistance. And so, a new chapter began, a story of two civilizations learning from one another, bound not by conquest but by the shared recognition of what it meant to be alive. The Zellerith, for all their logic and precision, had discovered something profound in humanity, a reminder that even in the face of overwhelming odds, the human spirit could prevail, not through brute force, but through the enduring power of belief and connection. The first open communication between humanity and the Zellerith occurred in an unexpected way. During a global broadcast celebrating the anniversary of the invasion's defeat, a strange signal interrupted the feed. At first, viewers assumed it was a technical glitch, but as the signal resolved into an image of a Zellerith ambassador, the world held its collective breath. The ambassador introduced herself as Kareth, a scholar tasked with understanding humanity. Her voice, calm and deliberate, carried a tone of both respect and curiosity. "We came to conquer," she began, "but we stayed to learn. Your resilience has shown us a path we did not know we needed. We seek dialogue, not dominance." The broadcast sent shockwaves across the globe. While some greeted the message with skepticism, others saw it as an opportunity for reconciliation. The Cosmic Chronicle, which had grown into an influential organization, took the lead in organizing a response. Representatives from every nation and culture gathered to craft a unified message. The response, delivered via a global broadcast, was simple yet profound. "We are ready to talk." The first official meeting between humans and Zellerith took place aboard a neutral platform, an orbital station constructed specifically for the occasion. Delegates from both sides approached the event with caution, aware of the weight of the moment. For the Zellerith, it was a chance to redeem themselves. For humanity, it was an opportunity to secure a future free from fear. As the discussions unfolded, it became clear that both sides had much to offer. Humanity shared its stories, not just of the invasion, but of its history, its triumphs, and its failures. The Zellerith, in turn, revealed the intricacies of their technology and culture, offering insights into the workings of their advanced civilization. But the most impactful exchange occurred not in the formal sessions, but in the informal moments between delegates. A Zellerith engineer, fascinated by humanity's humor, attempted to tell a joke during a shared meal. Though the delivery was awkward, the attempt was met with genuine laughter, breaking the tension and sparking a series of lighthearted conversations. These moments of connection, small but significant, laid the foundation for trust. Back on Earth, the news of the meeting inspired a wave of optimism. The Cosmic Chronicles archives were opened to the Zellerith, who marveled at the creativity and resilience displayed in the stories of the Resistance. In return, the Zellerith shared their own narratives, tales of their origins, their exploration of the stars, and the lessons they had learned from their encounter with humanity. One story in particular captured the imagination of both species. It was the tale of a Zellerith scout who, during the invasion, had been stranded in a remote village. Rather than being met with hostility, the scout was taken in by the villagers, who treated him not as an enemy but as a guest. The scout, moved by their kindness, ultimately chose to defect, becoming a symbol of the potential for understanding. The story became a shared legend, a reminder that even in the darkest moments, compassion could bridge the widest divides. As the years passed, the relationship between humanity and the Zellerith deepened. Collaborative projects flourished, from joint space missions to cultural exchanges. The Cosmic Chronicle, once a record of resistance, transformed into a living archive of collaboration, documenting the shared journey of two civilizations. But the path was not without challenges. The scars of the invasion remained, both on Earth and among the Zellerith. Some on both sides struggled to move beyond the past, clinging to fear and resentment. Yet, even in the face of these obstacles, the spirit of connection endured. Commander Thalkair, now a respected elder statesman among the Zellerith, reflected on the transformation he had witnessed. "We came as conquerors," he said during a joint conference, "but we stayed as students. Humanity taught us that strength is not found in dominance but in understanding. It is a lesson mission we will carry with us into the stars. For humanity, the legacy of the invasion was one of unity and renewal. The Cosmic Chronicles archives continued to grow, preserving the stories that defined a new era. Festivals celebrating the victory of laughter evolved into global events, featuring art, music, and performances that celebrated the shared journey of Earth and its unexpected allies. And so, the story of two civilizations became one, a tale of resilience, reconciliation, and the enduring power of connection. The Zellerith, once a distant and unknowable force, became partners in a shared quest to explore the mysteries of the universe. As the first joint human-Zellerith spacecraft departed for the unexplored reaches of the galaxy, carrying representatives from both species, the world watched with hope. The journey ahead was uncertain, but it was a journey they would take together. And in the infinite expanse of the cosmos, a new chapter began, written not by conquerors or victims, but by storytellers and dreamers who believed in the boundless potential of what they could achieve together. As the joint human-Zellerith spacecraft, named Horizon, ventured into uncharted regions of the galaxy, it became a symbol of what could be achieved when two civilizations worked together. On board, a diverse crew of humans and Zellerith shared their lives, learning from one another and exploring the unknown. The mission was not without its challenges. Cultural differences occasionally led to misunderstandings, and the pressures of deep space travel tested the crew's resolve. Yet, through storytelling and shared experiences, they found common ground. A human astronaut taught their Zellerith counterparts the art of cooking, improvising meals with the limited supplies on board. In return, a Zellerith engineer demonstrated how to manipulate gravitational fields to simulate Earth-like conditions, bringing a sense of normalcy to the journey. One of the most profound moments occurred when the crew encountered an ancient derelict ship drifting in the void. The vessel, though lifeless, contained artifacts and records from a long-extinct civilization. As the humans and Zellerith worked together to decipher the ship's history, they were struck by the parallels to their own story, a tale of rise, fall, and the enduring hope for connection. Back on Earth, the collaborative spirit sparked by the invasion continued to flourish. The Cosmic Chronicle launched a global initiative to document humanity's evolving culture, inviting contributions from every corner of the world. The project, called Voices of the World, became a living tapestry of stories, art, and music, reflecting the diversity and resilience of the human spirit. The Zellerith, inspired by humanity's creativity, began to integrate storytelling into their own society. For a species that had long prioritized logic and efficiency, this shift was transformative. Stories became a means of preserving their history, exploring new ideas, and fostering empathy. Zellerith scholars even began composing their own versions of human myths and legends, weaving them into their cultural fabric. Meanwhile, the TDI, though significantly diminished, remained a vocal minority. They argued that humanity's openness to the Zellerith left them vulnerable to future threats. While their rhetoric found some support, the majority of humanity embraced the spirit of collaboration. Festivals like the Day of Connection celebrated the bond between Earth and its cosmic allies, featuring joint performances and exhibitions that showcased the fusion of their cultures. The Zellerith High Council, once skeptical of Vynek's approach, now viewed humanity as a valuable partner in the galactic community. They have shown us a path we did not know we needed, one counselor remarked during a gathering. Through their stories, they have taught us to see the universe not just as a series of calculations, but as a canvas of infinite possibilities. As the years turned into decades, the relationship between Earth and the Zellerith deepened. Joint research initiatives led to breakthroughs in medicine, energy, and communication. The Stellar Nexus, once a symbol of humanity's aspirations, became a hub of interstellar diplomacy, hosting delegations from emerging civilizations inspired by the story of Earth and the Zellerith. But the true legacy of the invasion was not found in technology or politics. It was in the stories that bound the two species together. Tales of resistance, humor, and connection were shared across the stars, becoming a unifying force in a galaxy often divided by conflict. One such story, passed down among both humans and Zellerith, told of a small village that had hidden a group of refugees during the invasion. The villagers, despite their fear, chose compassion over self-preservation, providing food and shelter to those in need. When the Zellerith learned of the story, they were moved by the courage and humanity it represented. The village became a pilgrimage site, a place where both species came to reflect on the values that had brought them together. For Commander Vynek, the journey had come full circle. Standing on the observation deck of the Galvatrix, he watched as Earth's lights twinkled like stars in the night. "We came as conquerors," he said quietly, "but we stayed as students. And now we are partners. This is the story we will carry with us into the cosmos." And so, the story of Earth and the Zellerith became a beacon of hope in the galaxy, a reminder that even the deepest divides could be bridged through understanding, resilience, and the shared power of storytelling. Together, they forged a new chapter in the history of the universe, one that would inspire generations to come. As the horizon disappeared into the vastness of space, carrying its crew of dreamers and explorers, the world looked to the stars with hope. For humanity and the Zellerith, the journey was just beginning, a testament to the boundless potential of what could be achieved when differences were celebrated rather than feared. The success of the Horizon mission marked a turning point not only for humanity and the Zellerith but for the galaxy itself. News of their partnership spread through the stellar nexus, reaching distant civilizations that had long remained isolated. The story of Earth's resilience and the Zellerith's transformation ignited a wave of curiosity and hope among species that had never dreamed of collaboration. Among the crew of the Horizon, bonds deepened as they faced challenges together. During one particularly harrowing encounter, the spacecraft was caught in the gravitational pull of a rogue black hole. It was the combined ingenuity of the human and Zellerith engineers that enabled their escape. The crisis reinforced their belief that their differences were not weaknesses but strengths, complementary pieces of a greater whole. Back on Earth, the legacy of the invasion continued to shape the planet's future. The Cosmic Chronicle, now a cornerstone of humanity's cultural identity, expanded its archives to include the perspectives of the Zellerith. Joint storytelling festivals became annual events where tales of survival, humor, and unity were shared across species. These festivals became a source of pride, reminding both humans and Zellerith of the journey that had brought them together. But the galaxy was not without its challenges. News of Earth and the Zellerith's alliance attracted the attention of a more hostile power, the Krythar Dominion, a species known for its aggressive expansionism. When the Krythar fleet approached the stellar nexus, tensions rose. Humanity, still recovering from the Zellerith invasion, feared another conflict, while the Zellerith questioned whether their newfound values of collaboration could withstand such a test. The response came not from weapons or strategy, but from a story. During a tense negotiation with the Krythar delegation, Dr. Alina Moreau of the Cosmic Chronicle shared the tale of a Zellerith scout stranded during the invasion who had been saved by a group of human children. The story, simple yet profound, illustrated the power of compassion in the face of adversity. To everyone's astonishment, the Krythar delegation responded, not with hostility, but with curiosity. The Krythar leader, an imposing figure named Krelos, requested more stories. Over the following days, the Cosmic Chronicle organized a series of storytelling sessions, inviting representatives from Earth, the Zellerith, and even neutral species to share their narratives. The Krythar, who had long viewed strength as the only measure of value, found themselves captivated by the idea that connection and understanding could also be sources of power. By the time the negotiations concluded, the Krythar Dominion had not only withdrawn their fleet but expressed interest in establishing diplomatic relations with the stellar nexus. The encounter became a testament to the transformative power of stories, a lesson that resonated deeply with all who witnessed it. For Commander Vinik, the moment was both humbling and affirming. "We set out to conquer," he reflected during a joint address to the Stellar Nexus Assembly, "but we discovered that the greatest victories are those won not by force, but by connection." The story of Earth and the Zellerith is not just ours. It belongs to all who dare to believe in the possibility of a better future. As the years turned into centuries, the story of humanity and the Zellerith became a foundational myth of the galaxy. Their journey from conflict to collaboration inspired countless civilizations to seek dialogue over dominance, understanding over fear. The Cosmic Chronicles archives grew into a living library of interstellar stories, a beacon of shared knowledge and hope. The Zellerith, once defined by their rigid hierarchy, embraced the art of storytelling as a core aspect of their culture. Their narratives, enriched by human creativity, became a bridge between logic and emotion, science and art. Humanity, in turn, adopted elements of Zellerith precision and discipline, integrating them into their own chaotic yet vibrant society. And so, the galaxy changed not through conquest, but through the quiet, persistent power of stories. The legacy of the invasion was not destruction, but renewal. Humanity and the Zellerith, bound by their shared journey, became stewards of a new era of connection. As the Galvatrix and the Horizon ventured further into the stars, they carried with them the lessons of their past, a reminder that even the darkest moments could give rise to light, and that the simplest of things, a story, a laugh, a shared moment, could change the course of history. And in the vast expanse of the cosmos, their story continued to unfold, a testament to the infinite possibilities of connection and the enduring power of the human spirit. As the generations passed, the bond between Earth and the Zellerith deepened into a relationship that reshaped the galaxy. The joint missions of the Horizon and Galvatrix established contact with civilizations civilizations once thought unreachable, their shared message of unity resonating far and wide. These missions carried the legacy of their shared history, a reminder that even the most improbable alliances could forge the strongest futures. On Earth, the Cosmic Chronicle evolved into the Galactic Archive, a vast repository of stories from every known world. Its halls, both physical and virtual, became a place where beings from across the galaxy gathered to share their narratives, finding common ground in their differences. The archives were not merely records, they were living entities, growing with every new tale, song, and piece of art contributed by civilizations old and new. The Zellerith, inspired by humanity's creative chaos, developed their own tradition of imaginative histories, speculative stories that explored what might have been if their paths had diverged. These narratives became a tool for reflection, teaching the value of empathy and adaptability to a society that had once prized only precision. Meanwhile, humanity continued to evolve, blending its inherent creativity with the Zellerith's structured approach to problem-solving. This fusion led to breakthroughs that transformed both worlds. A new generation of spacecraft, designed collaboratively, combined human ingenuity with Zellerith technology, making intergalactic travel not just possible but routine. Yet, the most profound transformation occurred not in technology or politics, but in the hearts of both species. They learned to see themselves not as separate entities, but as part of a shared story, one that spanned the stars and connected countless lives. The phrase, "We are all storytellers," became a common motto, engraved on monuments and whispered in the moments before ships launched into the unknown. One such monument stood on the moon's surface, a collaborative effort between Earth and the Zellerith. Its inscription, written in both languages, read, "To those who dare to dream, to connect, and to create, this is your legacy." The site became a symbol of unity, drawing pilgrims from across the galaxy who sought to honor the journey that had begun with conflict and ended in collaboration. For Commander Vinek, now a revered figure among both species, the journey was a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. In his later years, he authored a memoir titled From Conquest to Connection, Lessons from Earth, which became a cornerstone of intergalactic studies. In it, he reflected on the transformative power of stories, humor, and the unpredictable beauty of humanity. "We thought ourselves their masters," he wrote, "but they became our teachers. They showed us that the most powerful weapon is not a blade or a machine, but the ability to see each other, not as enemies, but as fellow travelers in an infinite universe." As the galaxy entered a new era of exploration and understanding, the story of Earth and the Zellerith remained a guiding light. It was a reminder that even in the face of overwhelming odds, connection and creativity could triumph over fear and division. And so, the tale continued, written not by conquerors or victims, but by dreamers and builders who dared to believe in the boundless possibilities of the cosmos. Their story, woven from laughter, resilience, and hope, became the foundation of a galaxy united not by force, but by the shared power of a simple truth, that in the vastness of the universe, every voice mattered, and every story had the potential to change the stars.